Hello, everyone. This is Scooby.
And that means I'm Steven, and you're here for another episode of The Feedback, where us two gentlemen like to get together and start to share new songs with each other, and by proxy share them with you, and then discuss how we reacted to those songs, how they made us feel, what they remind us of, and then anything else along the way, because we do like to go on tangents here, as you may well know by now. As we've been doing lately, we are going to talk about our drinks. I brought my big old bottle of water, and I got myself a nice Boardwalk Blue slushie because I still had a couple of those left, and I didn't want to run out. And I went by the rules of three again, and I got myself a wild cherry Pepsi because I love cherry Pepsi. Scoobs, do you want to talk about what you brought to drink and what you brought to listen today as I crack this open?
Crack it. Grip it and rip it, baby. I only have two today. I have a brisk iced tea, which is almost gone. I drank most of it already as we were talking before the recording started. And I've got some water. And that's it today.
That's brisk, baby.
That is brisk, baby. I don't know what it is about brisk. I love it. Do they still make Nest tea?
I think they do.
I remember when I was younger and we would go on family vacations, it was sort of the treat where my parents would be like, okay, we can get soda and we can get snacks. And I always wanted iced tea for some reason, which is weird because we would drink iced tea at home, but it was different iced tea, And
Right.
I just know that brisk, it's got that bite to it that would kind of hurt my throat. And as a kid, I was like, I don't like that. Nest tea is smoother. So
I will say that I never understood why brisk had that and why I liked it so much, but I drank it because of that.
right. Yeah, I don't know either, but I like it. I like
Yeah,
it's like the Barks root beer logo. Barks has bite.
it does. It does. Both in the logo and in the flavor.
That's right.
But Nesty, real quick. I want to talk about that. I feel like when they had the little bottles of it, so I always thought when you mixed it up, those were pieces of plastic that were falling down, not realizing that it was made of its actual tea leaves.
Yeah,
So that
real.
was actual tea sediment, which is normal.
Yeah, you don't get that in brisk.
No,
Maybe
no, you
maybe
don't.
in some of those more. I was going to say organic, like all tea is technically organic, I guess, but those pure leaf or whatever that brand
Right,
is called, or the Gold Peaks, maybe you'll get that.
right.
But nah, this is synthetic tea, and I love it. All right. And in terms of our song today, so I'm bringing a cover to the table, and it's actually a cover of a video game song. Now,
Interesting.
that's a rabbit hole or avenue that I have fallen down quite a bit. I find, as a huge nerd and a musician, that a lot of games have phenomenal music, and a lot of the time it's kind of unnoticed. I think that obviously you have your very obvious ones, like everyone knows the Mario music, and say The Legend of Zelda, or in a lot of cases Final Fantasy. Those are some
Yeah.
really popular ones. Or alternatively, the pause music from GoldenEye 64, which everyone loves.
Boom, boom.
Yep,
Bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum
that's
bum.
the one. So,
That was my number one game growing up. There,
oof, I
you just
couldn't,
triggered a
man.
core memory with that.
I wanted to play it so bad because, that's what everyone was playing, but it made me so motion sick. Like,
Oh
I could
man,
play,
I can see
I
that.
could play for 5 minutes and then I'd want to barf real bad. So,
I remember putting in all the cheat codes for the big heads and having those very angular heads of just faces pasted on top of them. God, A tier, A tier game. Anyway,
so I don't know if you have played the game Undertale.
I don't think I have.
Okay, so the
No,
track
I haven't.
is from the game Undertale, and Undertale is a really, really, really good game. To me, I love it. I think it's great. The problem I have with it is the problem that I have with a lot of things that get super popular. It's not the product or the content itself, it's the fans of it.
Gotcha.
It's the sort of thing where, like, Undertale is the best game ever, and if you don't like it, you're wrong, you just don't understand, blah, blah, blah. I like it, but there is never going to be a definitive, this is the best thing ever, because taste is subjective. But
Right.
the song is actually called Hopes and Dreams from the game Undertale, which came out in 2015. So this year, I missed the 10-year anniversary. I don't know if there was any sort of celebration or anything. The composer for the game was Toby Fox, and Toby Fox did basically everything for Undertale. Graphics, story. It is basically the same thing that Concerned Ape did for Stardew Valley. Just basically a one-man project doing everything.
Gotcha.
But the track Hopes and Dreams is the song that plays during the final boss fight. And what I find really cool about this is that the band covering this song is named Anamanaguchi. And when writing this song, Toby Fox said he was directly influenced by this band, who then came back around and covered the song that he wrote that was influenced by them.
That's really awesome, actually.
Right?
That's a very full circle moment.
How cool must that feel to be like, I wrote this song for this project, directly influenced
Right.
by this band that really inspired me, and they come to you and they're like, hey, can we actually play that song? We'd love to
Yeah,
cover
which
it.
is amazing.
Yeah.
That I wonder if they played the game as well, or if they just found out about it.
I would have to imagine that they probably played it, because Anamanaguchi on their own are a chiptune slash rock band. So
Okay.
chiptune is very video game influenced, and they will actually use sound fonts from gaming systems as instruments
Interesting.
and use that in their music.
Oh, very cool.
It's a genre I actually really like, but that I haven't really gotten super into. Anamanaguchi is one band that I know does it very well. There's another artist called At Punk who does the same style, very pop punk, but with a lot of those sort of chiptune and video game sound fonts incorporated into the music.
That sounds familiar. I wonder if I saw something recently, or heard something recently with them on there, or something like that, because that sounds familiar. I don't know why. But anyway.
So, as I said, Undertale itself came out in 2015. This cover was actually released in 2022. Having not played the game, like, I'm not going to get super into any details about it or anything, but something that is really cool about the music in general in the game, but especially this song, is that it will contain motifs and themes from other songs that were played throughout the game, incorporated
Oh,
into
neat.
one track. Which, that's, you and I have both talked about that we love that in music
Right.
in general. When anyone does that on an
Right.
album, where they'll call back an earlier track from earlier in the album, or even from another album. I don't know,
Right.
it just scratches part of my brain that I'm like,
Well, no.
I love that continuity.
Yeah, and it feels very like perfectly placed in this aspect as well, because you got to think like if you're playing a video game and you played all these bosses, they each taught you something along the way that you might need to beat the final boss. So why wouldn't you kind of do that little like, hey, remember when you were here thing, and like trigger that memory of, oh yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll just shout out the band members. Guitars and lead songwriters are Peter Berkman and Ari Warner. Bass is James DeVito, and drums are Luke Silas. I'm not sure who does the programming. I tried to look that up, but I couldn't find any information, which probably leads me to believe that it's probably just all of them. Like, it's a group
Mm-hmm.
effort. So, and to be honest, that's something I've always kind of wanted to get into, is try and figure out how to incorporate that sort of sound into my own music, just because it's something that I enjoy so much.
Nice.
But
I look forward to hearing it today.
yeah. So I think we're good to go. If you are excited and ready to hear it, we can just jump right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is Hopes and Dreams by Anamanaguchi. So that was Hopes and Dreams by Anamanaguchi. And I'm going to say a little short thing before I let you give me your thoughts. One of the core themes of the game Undertale, or perhaps even the core theme that is mentioned throughout, is determination. Every time you use a save point in the game, it talks about how your character is full of determination. And sometimes it's really hard to encapsulate a feeling or an emotion into a song, but I feel like this does it really well. When I think of the word determination, this song just fits it in a very like a glove.
Yeah, to expand on that, now that I know, I would have to agree with that because I was trying to figure out a good way to describe the way that I felt from that song. Because there is a very like I don't know the best way to phrase it, but like the whole time it's playing I kind of felt something and I wasn't really sure how to describe what I felt, not in like a bad way, but like the first thoughts I had were that, oh wow, that was 3 minutes?
Yes.
And then also like I I was like bobbing my head and kind of moving and like kind of going and like now that you said that, like that makes sense. Like if the music's making me feel like I want to keep moving, but I'm not sure why, but not in like a I need to move frantic way, just in like a I want to dance almost, and I'm not much of a dancer. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know how to dance because it felt quick, and knowing that it was a fast 3 minutes, like yeah, I can feel that you're determined to keep moving forward by the way the song is played,
Yeah.
and just like the I don't know if it's the notes or the tempo or a combination, but yeah, I would agree.
I think it's a combination, and I don't know, I dabble in music theory, but I don't know enough to ever say that I'm a professional at it or anything like that. But
Right.
I know that there are certain chord structures and ways you can put chords and melodies together that will evoke certain emotions in you. Like if you put, a very obvious, simple example is a lot of minor chords will make you feel sad. Or maybe like a lot of diminished chords usually give you a sense of tension. So here, I think the way the song is structured, and like you said, part of it is the tempo, but I think just a lot of the way that the song is structured just has a very driving feeling to it. Like it propels you forward. I think there's another great example I can think of that sort of does that is there's a song by the band Sleep Token, which Sleep Token's huge right now, so I'm sure anyone listening probably knows who Sleep Token is. But on the album Take Me Back to Eden, the last track is called Uslid. I think that's how it's pronounced. But it's sort of the same thing where the way the song is structured and the chords that they use, it starts off very gentle piano and vocals, and then once the entire band kicks in, it almost feels like, well, this is kind of funny. I wasn't intending to tie this together, but a lot of when Sleep Token releases a song, they call the songs offerings, and then their tagline is worship. But that track has an almost like euphoric choral and not in a religious sense but heavenly feeling to it where it's so uplifting, and it's just because of the chords they use and the way they structure it. And I think that's another really good example of just structuring something to evoke a certain emotion that just really really works, because that's what all music is trying to do. It's trying to make the listeners feel something, but I think there's always going to be shining examples that are like head and shoulders above others.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are like when you find those ones, it's great to hear those ones and feel those ones, especially when they like if they hit the nail on the head of what they were trying to find. Like this one was for determination, as we said, like that, and that was like perfect because like I could feel that, and like to feel that and know that that exists, and like you hit that part of the feeling that you were looking for is really it's cool. It's got to be rewarding, especially in any aspect too. Like you were just mentioning in another aspect with another band. Yeah. I think it's really awesome when that kind of stuff can happen. I agree, and it's so rare.
Yeah.
One thing that I really liked about the music video portion that was shared was that being a person that's never played the game, it's really neat seeing the graphics and the little pieces that were being used. And I'm not sure how much of it was, and maybe you can touch on this more too. Like, it's a fun 32-bit game side scroller, and then they kind of side scrolled all the NPCs, whether they're enemies or not. I'm not sure, but they're just like side scrolling through all of them, kind of giving them all a little nod. And I thought that was pretty neat as a gamer and someone who appreciates those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there was for a while there because this was 2015, and a couple years before, probably only like 1 or 2 years before, was Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley and Undertale are like two games that really champion the whole kind of retro graphical style and being like,
Yeah,
hey, you can still make an amazing game with this sort of like you don't need mind blowing graphics. All you need is something that really sucks you in for
right.
Stardew for a lot of people, myself included. It's just a very cozy game. Yeah, I can play this and just relax and have a
Yeah,
good
it's
time.
comfort.
Whereas Undertale is very story driven, where it's like you don't realize how much you get sucked in and how much the characters mean to you until you get towards the end of the game and you're like, whoa, I've been on a journey and I don't think I even realized it.
Yeah, yeah. It's really awesome when the video game that was actually just trying to have fun taught you a real life lesson at the same time because of how well it was done. That's next tier.
It's, damn it, were you teaching me morals?
I didn't know it was in school.
Dude, that's why okay, so tangent, of course. But that's I loved Hey Arnold as a kid. And
Yeah,
first of all, it was just because like all the characters seemed like cool, even the shitty ones. But
right.
there was also the music, which was very jazzy and super chill, which was totally different from most music in any kid show at that time. And then it also managed to teach morals and lessons without feeling preachy. It
Right.
it did it in a very identifiable way where you watch and you're like, oh, like I get this. I get what they're trying to tell me, and it's not like they're trying to beat me over the head with it, but like I'm learning something from this.
Right. No, absolutely correct. And I gotta say, that's another one of those ones that's still stuck in my head. That intro is just, again, another god tier introduction song.
Yes, definitely.
But I agree. That was a lot of the music in that was because they were trying to set the vibe of being in a house with a bunch of people that are 50, 60, 70 years old and you're in your teens and they nailed it.
Yep.
Like that was very like on the nose for what that would have been like. I mean, I don't know for certain. Maybe I'm just mistaken, but that's pretty much New York City supposed, right? Like that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If it wasn't straight up called out as being New York City,
I think they no, I don't think they ever like actually said it was New York, but that's definitely what it was based on.
right? Like you can feel like that's where they were trying to at least gear it towards that ideal, or even if it was like another city that could be the same way. That was supposed to be like that kind of a feeling where it was specific enough to know that you were in the literal melting pot versus where exactly it was,
Yeah.
and kind of just getting that multicultural experience because 8 different cultures lived on the floors above and are below you or are next to you. um and yeah, they did give a lot of really awesome messages just kind of subtly. I think that's, kudos to them for making those programs the way that they did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And to
Good kids programming.
there was also a lot of bad kids programming back then as well, but I prefer to focus on the good.
Oh yeah, Red and
Oh
Stimpy.
god, Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah. Those shows were not meant for cow and chicken. Those shows were not meant for children.
That was brain rot for us,
It
but we
was.
only got it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, thank goodness. Um, oh, I wanted to wrap back around to Undertale and this song by extension, but a big, big part of Undertale, and again, the sort of thing that we were just talking about, where it's teaching you lessons without you even realizing it is. There's a lot of decisions to be made in Undertale, and it's sort of like one of those Telltale games where I don't know if you've played any of those, like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us, where you make dialogue choices, and then up in the little corner it'll be like, this character will remember that.
Right.
But
Fallout's another one of those series.
yeah, so this is sort of like that, where there are some pretty big choices to make, and by the end of the game, it really affects how things turn out. And that's something that I've always really loved in like any video game. I love when the choices that you make will have a big effect, where it's not just like a dialogue choice where like one or two things will change. When you play a game like yeah, like for example, the Telltale Walking Dead games. I love those games, but there's like four big decisions in each chapter, and those are the ones that matter, and everything else is kind of like incidental. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you play a game like the game company is called Quantic Dream, and they made the games Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. Those games are a really big example of the smallest decision can have a huge impact on the rest of the game. And just like Undertale, that's some like those are probably my favorite kinds of games beyond your JRPGs. Which this is fun because Undertale is like an RPG mixed with that style of gameplay.
I was gonna say it felt like it had those RPG elements just from what I got to see and then what you got to tell me about just now. So yeah,
Yeah, because you'll go into battle, and you know those RPG elements where you level up and you fight bosses and blah blah blah.
that's cool.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. You've not played the game before, and you've not heard any of the music from it before either. I'm assuming, but
Correct.
I'm wondering, did and it might just be because of the sound font as well, but did it give you kind of a sense of nostalgia?
I want to say that because it was like the video game style from that era, it did.
Yeah,
It's trying to emulate that same video game experience by making those, like I said, the side scrollers that have that very like electronic sounding music because they were trying to use. How did they do that? Was that just like on the original games? Wasn't it like executing programs or something that made those noises? I don't know, but
yeah,
either way, like it's a testament to the people that made those games have that kind of music that it inspired artists to want to play music like that that would then inspire people that were making video games to make a song that reminded them of a band that makes music that sounds kind of like that. And like for it to all come full circle and have them do it like this and have it do it as well as it was, like I did feel nostalgic, but I don't know why. And I don't know. I'm trying to like. I think it had to do with the fact that it was playing nod to like those video games from back in the day, as I'll say that I used to play like when I was playing them on Nintendo and all that. Like I felt like I was playing one of those games while watching it.
yeah.
So I think that's kind of yeah. Like, and I wish I did play this video game. And I think I might have to go find and play it right now, to be quite honest.
Oh, dude, I honestly, and we'll take this question off podcast, but I have been thinking about asking you to start a gaming channel as well. So that might be a fun thing to think about.
I'm down for that. But yeah, we could take that off podcast for sure. But I'm definitely down to do anything of the above, and we can sort out the details another time for sure.
But yeah, and I, we've fallen, and I don't want to call it a trap, but like we've fallen down these rabbit holes before on our podcast where it's like we kind of get hooked on a certain type of music, like you know, for a little bit there. Actually, as we are recording this right now, we just went through like a rash of rap songs in the
Hmm.
past, like where it was like, oh, like you brought a rap song. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this song, so I'm gonna bring this song. And then you're like, oh, well, that made me think of this. So we went back and forth
Right,
with rap songs, and
right.
now I'm like, oh, there's so much good video game music that I'm like, I don't want to just spend like 3 weeks bringing video game songs, but I might. It's hard to say.
Hey, I mean, it can happen at any point. It all depends on what you're listening to and what you're interested in. Because like when we were starting it before, I was in the hardcore element, and I'm kind of growing out of that now. So I thought I'd be playing a lot more episodes of that, but due to timing and the way things work out in life, we might not.
Yeah.
We might revisit.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll always, you know, again, looking at our catalog thus far, we truly have been all over the place. But I think that's part of what makes it so much fun.
I think that's gonna what is gonna make people want to come back, because if we have these tastes in music that we're liking all these different things, and if they liked at least one song so far, or are curious because they know what might be coming, or curious about what might be coming, even like they might be like, oh shit, I didn't know I'd even like this genre. And I think that's what's a good thing about this and what you brought today, because this song's great, and I definitely want to listen to more things by Anamanaguchi, because I'm curious what else I'll kind of hear and think when I hear, like, what video game it might make me think of.
So,
Like, this one didn't make me feel like any kind of game that I had seen before, but it's definitely one that I want to listen to again now that we've even had this conversation, because I know so much more about it and the drive that was made for it.
yeah, so they're actually releasing an album very, very soon as of this recording. It might actually be out. I'm not sure. But they have done some interesting things because, like, their sound has primarily been this chiptune rock sound. But for this last album, they actually rented the house that American football recorded their first LP in. And they're like, we're going to try some different stuff. One of the songs that they put out was very Weezer esque. Good Weezer. And so different from what they've done before, but still really, really good. Because I think it's the first song they've ever done that featured vocals like by the band themselves. They've had vocal features
Interesting.
before, but from what I've heard from the new album, it is kind of branching out from that sort of chip tune and rock sound, but there's still elements of it contained within. So I'm actually really looking forward to hearing the entire album.
I'm actually very intrigued to hear what they're going. So I definitely want to listen to some other songs by them, because so actually maybe you can answer this for me too. Like, so what else do they play? Like, are they this one is obviously the chip tune style, and they're playing a video game specific because it was made for that. Like, are they making other songs that are reminiscent of this, or like what
Yes.
kind of? Okay, I was gonna say, what can I expect?
Songs in this vein, um, they write a lot of super energetic, like peppy, almost. I almost want to like say there's a lot of J-pop elements to it, but then they still hold it down with the analog rock instruments. So it's a fun mix of J-pop and chiptune and just the rock instrumentation that ends up being super catchy, which I find, which I also find interesting because a lot of the time there are no vocals. So what you're actually going to be getting the melody from is the synthesizer or the sound fonts, like the sort of chiptune 16-bit, 8-bit sound fonts will create the melody that gets stuck in your head.
That's awesome, and I'm actually really glad that you said J-pop, because it reminded me of something that I wanted to bring up. I know that we talked about it before at one point. I don't know whether it was or wasn't on recording, but we talked about my recent exposure, or somewhat recent exposure at the time, or reminiscing of it. I digress. About city pop,
Yes,
which was that very like niche funk finding of just like, was it Chinese more or was it Japanese or both?
I think it was
City
more
pop,
Japanese actually.
Japanese.
I'm
Okay.
not certain though, so
I can't remember exactly which one it was. I remember reading up on it for a minute, but like it was a like inspiration by funk and jazz, and then also pop, and you can very much like hear that when you listen to it. But part of the graphics on the music video, when we were watching it, it kind of got to that point where it was like rolling like the 90s VHS home video clips that someone just uploaded to the internet for some reason. Like that was like playing in the music video for a minute, and I was like, yeah, this kind of feels like a city pop song.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah. So, speaking outside of the podcast, you and I, because we actually do that, we're friends. Um, an idea that I brought to you was that what I'd like to start doing for our episodes is making little playlists. And when I say little, I'm going to say like 7 to 10 songs, probably, of other tracks by the artist that we have brought to the table for our week, and also songs by similar artists that either evoke the same emotion or, just are in the same style. And with you saying that you want to hear more by them, I'm like, dude, yeah, I'll make you that. I'll make you that little playlist, and then by extension, we can share it with our listeners, who can
And you'll
also
already have
listen
it
to
ready.
that playlist and be like, oh, so here's like 3 or 4 more songs by Anamanaguchi, and then here's a song by, here's like 2 or 3 more songs by other artists in this same vein to explore that genre a little more.
Yeah, I'm excited for the ability to do that and bring that. I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna do it all the time though, but we'll figure that out, right?
Yeah, we're doing it live. That's how it works.
Damn it, you're right. I'll say it, and that means it's gonna happen because then we're gonna do things, and that's how it works.
Yep.
I know I touched on it before, but I don't know if you went on it, and I apologize if you did. But when you're talking about the actual graphics of the game, when all those things are kind of rolling on the side, and they're all those different weird characters, were those all like people you talk to, or bosses, or?
Yeah, they're all characters or enemies in the game.
Gotcha.
Yep.
It really was just like giving everyone their appreciation for being a part of the game in terms of like the graphic element.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's nice because even then, like when you have that, and like you said yourself, the game itself had motif, or the song itself had motifs of the other songs. So any person that played this game is gonna know what's happening and really appreciate even more what they did.
Yeah. The so the visuals in the music video, when they play this song live, this is what they play like up on the big screens when they're playing
That's
it.
awesome.
So
That's really awesome.
yeah, I it really feels wholesome to me,
Yeah.
because part of it is, yeah, just the song itself has that sort of determination and optimism and drive behind it. But then when you learn about the circumstances behind it as well, you're just like, it's all just like a warm fuzzy feeling that everything is, sometimes things can be really cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself.
See, we're not negative all the time. This is good because do you remember last episode? I haven't gotten to editing it yet, but that's going to be a doozy, I think.
Yeah, that one was a good one. That one's got a lot of feeling
Yeah.
and a lot of discussion. This one's more, like you said, it's very like, yeah.
Little bit of a palate cleanser, I think.
We needed one. We were due.
Yeah.
And it was a very good choice. Well
Yeah.
done.
Well, thank you. And I would just like to. This is weird, but like, yeah. Not that they're ever probably going to hear this, but I want to thank both Toby Fox, creator of Undertale, amazing game, and Anamanaguchi, amazing band. There are many things in this world that I enjoy. These things are like a distilled version of happy juice that just gets the dopamine flowing in my brain. Where, there are some things that you enjoy that you're like, this is good, but like here's a good example. Everyone loves Breaking Bad, right? It's like the best, people say it's the best TV show ever made. I think
I haven't finished it.
by like okay, so neither have I. Here's the problem. It's amazing. It is amazing. It's so well done. It
Yeah.
stressed me the fuck out to watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I couldn't finish
Yeah.
it.
I'd watch it and I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god. Like I would physically be like sweating. And
Dude, I was the same way with Walking Dead. At some episodes,
Same
it
thing, man.
sucked.
I'm like, these shows are really good and they're perfectly crafted. They're so well done, and I enjoy them. But I can't watch them because I don't walk away from them feeling good. And that's what I want from my media because the world is on fire. So when I watch something, I want to walk away from it feeling good and fulfilled. And like those shows, like that's what happened with The Walking Dead. I would watch and be like, God, I just feel sad and depressed now. Like it's good, but I don't feel good.
Right. No, that was. I mean, we talked about our feelings towards The Walking Dead in a very recent episode. I think that we recorded anyway. And yeah, I never finished it for the similar reasons. The frustration of when my favorite character died, and then also just the absurdity and the feelings towards everything else that was going on. I was like, I can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I never watched Game of Thrones.
Yep. Dude,
And another one that
okay.
was, oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you're going to say because I'm wondering if you're going to say name what I want to bring up.
Okay. And the final one that we haven't been able to watch any more of, just because whatever was The Handmaid's Tale. Like
Okay.
we haven't even been able to continue watching that because it's just gotten to the point where like we would watch an episode if we knew it was early enough in the night to watch another episode of something completely different.
Yes, to bring your mood back up. Yeah.
Right, to like get back to like at least like an acceptable level of being like alive,
Yeah.
and then go watch another episode of something else that we enjoy, and then go to bed.
Yeah. So, yeah, another sort of well, yeah, another show that I really love it and like I would say it's probably one of my favorite shows, but I can't watch it if I'm not in the right mindset. BoJack Horseman.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That show is really good. It's funny, it's dark, and like there are some episodes, and they do this on purpose. The penultimate episode of every season is meant to be like a gut punch, where like
Gotcha.
everything seems it's where the everything that was going wrong throughout the season comes to a head, and like the creator said, he's like, when you get to the penultimate episode of the season, you know that's when BoJack is going to be at his lowest, and like every time you're like, how can it get worse? And it does. And like it's
That's dreadful.
yeah, like it's a brilliant show and I love it, but if I'm not in a good headspace, I can't watch it because it'll just bring me down even more.
Interesting. Kudos to them for having, like you said earlier, to the. Oh, I mean, quick callback. You shouted out the creators and the artists. I mean, why not take that opportunity to say that this is your soapbox, right? And they deserve it because they had that impact, the same way that like this show was trying to do the same thing, right? It was trying to create that impact.
Yeah,
So kudos to the people that have the ability to create that and then portray that in another way. Like that's awesome.
agreed. Again, as I said a couple minutes ago, sometimes things can be really cool. A lot of times they're not, but sometimes they can be.
Exactly. Well said.
Well, I think that's just about going to do it for us. Do you have any other thoughts on the track, artist, or anything else that you want to get out there?
Um, just quickly that I appreciate that this again a quick callback that I appreciate that you bring things like this to the table because it is your second cover, but this one is more in the style of the song and more of just like an appreciation nod versus the previous one, which was done in their style, which was also really good, by the way.
Yeah.
But also, it's another purely instrumental song that you've brought that I've also been like, this is awesome. And I've also been like, because before I told you I had like the very close-mindedness of thinking that I would never like that kind of genre, and every day that you bring one, you change my mind, and I appreciate it. And I look forward to the playlist that you're going to create for this because of my interest in them now. So, thank you.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to do it retroactively because that would be a lot of work. We can if we want to, but we've got like 13 episodes out at this point, so that'd be a
We'll
lot.
figure it out.
But we'll at least start doing it soon. Time's weird. Because if I say we start doing it soon and I start doing it on this episode, for us it's now, but for our listeners it's going to be like
Then.
3 months away. So, but if
Oh
we
no.
start doing it and people are like, "Oh, this is cool. Why aren't they talking about it?" And then 3 months later, it's like, "What? Oh, okay."
I was gonna say now you just unveiled the man behind the curtain. Surprise!
Yeah, I parted the kimono.
Oh man, but no, I would agree. But yeah, I think the last thing I would have to say is to listen to me talk about social media right now, please. That's right, because important, long-winded information and ADHD don't mix. But I hope if you've made it to this point, you like what Scoops and I are doing, and hopefully you like it so much you want to shout it from the top of a mountain. But it would be a whole lot more helpful if you told your friends about us instead. Word of mouth or listening with someone is our favorite, but social media is also great, and you can interact with us there too. So please come by our Instagram, Blue Sky, or Facebook, where you can find us as The Feedback, or on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter /X, at @thefeedback_PC to see what's coming next, suggest a song, talk about our latest episode, or just talk about anything.
All right, now that you have hopefully gone and done all the social media things that we have requested, like, comment, share, subscribe, etc., I think it's time to wrap it up. Let me say, check out the playlist, which will be posted somewhere. Go play Undertale if you're a gamer. If you're not a gamer, watch a YouTuber play Undertale. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but just it's a media that everyone should experience, I think. And hey, maybe we'll play Undertale. We'll talk about that at a later date. Yeah. Anything else, Steven?
Nope, that's all.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening, and join us next week for whatever we dig up next. Bye.
Boo, this guy doesn't even like Exile. He didn't give him a shout out.
Shit!
Boo.
Oh shit! You're right. I forgot. I can slot one in there. I'll just grab it from another episode and cheat.
I personally think you should leave my booing you be the Exile call out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
let me call it out and be like, he's right. I forgot.
Yeah. Whoops. It's been a while.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna say it, and then I could have just done it right there, and I was gonna do it, but I was like, I don't want to step on his toes.
Oh no, I totally forgot.